everybody, Lucha for Life. You're bringing as a brand new deck profile this time around. I got good old Fortune Ladies. Fortune Ladies, as I've mentioned before, is one of my favorite 5Ds archetypes. This deck is really interesting in how it plays. It, likes to banish and has all sorts of different level modulations, shenanigans. And by that I mean basically just going up to gain attack, which is basically all they had for a long while until Konami recently finally gave them a tuner and a synchro, which results in the deck being a bit better. It definitely went from being borderline unplayable to being a fun casual deck. I think the deck still needs quite a bit more support. Here's hoping one day Konami will think to give it a bit more, because it really could use another like 5 or 6 cards to kind of help round it out. Does not help that a lot of its older stuff is just not good nowadays, but I digress. So let's get on to the deck profile. First and foremost, I got 3 Fortune Lady Water. Water is one of the best Fortune Ladies, okay, right off the bat. So she, like all the others, gains attack based on her level, times 300. And also, if she is special summoned while you control a Fortune Lady monster, doesn't matter how she gets special summoned, so long as you control a Fortune Lady other than herself, on her special summon, you get to draw 2 cards. That's not once per turn either. So if you happen to control a non-water Fortune Lady, and by that I mean the name, water, you control Fortune Lady Fire on the field, and then you activate 3 Call to Haunted, bring back 3 of those from your graveyard, you go get to draw 6 cards. It's really, really insane. The fact that it's not once per turn and results in this deck having quite a bit of draw power once you get it going. It does require a bit of setup though, but it works really well for that. There's also, of course, a bunch of other ways that you can special summon it. I just brought a Call to Haunted. I don't even play Call to Haunted. I don't know why I mentioned it, but I digress. Next up, we got the other one of the other ones you play 3 of, Fortune Lady Light. I actually just found out that she has a super rare version. I will be picking up 2 more copies of those because they are beautiful. But for now, my first set of rares will do. Fortune Lady Light is your main card that you want to see in the deck for the most part. There's one other Fortune Lady that we'll talk about that you kind of really want to see. Light is really good. First and foremost, her attacking is irrelevant. I've never had her have more than like 400 attack at any given point. But the big thing is that whenever she leaves the field to do a card effect, it doesn't matter what kind of card effect, doesn't matter who did it. If she leaves the field to do a card effect, you can summon any Fortune Lady from your deck. You can even summon another copy of her, which I don't know why you'd want to do, but you could if you want. So really, really good effect right there, just being able to tutor out any of your Fortune Ladies from your deck. Doesn't matter how she gets removed so long as it's by a card effect. Allows for a lot of shenanigans, especially with the new level 1, Fortune Lady Past. Fortune Lady Past is one of the new cards, and you can definitely tell one was made in like 2009, the other was made in 2019. Fortune Lady Past is a great card overall. She's a tuner, for one thing, which is something that the deck surprisingly never had, even with it being a 5Ds archetype. You'd think that they'd want to push synchros, but oh well. So once per turn, you can target 1 Fortune Lady card you control, 1 Fortune Lady monster you control, and banish any number of spellcasters from your hand, field, and or graveyard, and then increase that targeted monster's level by 1 for each card you banished. And then she also has a standard attack gaining effect. So the big thing is that she alters your levels of your tuners. You can increase or reduce the levels of either herself or your other Fortune Ladies, which creates some just absolutely fun shenanigans. For one thing, if you banish Light off of her effect, like you target herself, you banish Light, you can instantly summon out Fortune Lady Dark, who can then allow you to instantly synchro into this because Fortune Lady Dark is a base level 5. So really good card overall, just enables so much shenanigans with the deck. Speaking of, I do play 1 Fortune Lady Earth. Now we're going to start getting into the 1-ofs, which is basically just the rest of the Fortune Ladies for the most part. Fortune Lady Earth, she's okay. She's literally just a beater, being a level 6 with 2400 attack when she comes out. The biggest thing is that she also has a burn effect, which never comes up. But the biggest thing for her is that she's level 6, okay? So one of the new cards that Fortune Lady's got is a spell card that lets you summon any Fortune Lady from your deck, provided you control a Fortune Lady. So if you normal summon out Past, you don't have any good targets or anything, you can just activate that spell, instantly beam out Fortune Lady Earth, and then Synchro for your Synchro monster. It's really, really good and allows you to actually make some plays from time to time, but you don't want to play too many Earth because she is a complete and total dead draw, being a level 6 with no really good effect other than being a Monarch, basically, in terms of her stat line. So, yeah. And then we got one Fortune Lady Dark. I've kind of flip-flopped between playing 1 and 2 of her. For now, though, I'm playing 1. Fortune Lady Dark is a really good card as well. Basically, she's a level 5 with 2,000 attack and 2,000 defense right off the get-go, but goes up with every level, every turn, like usual. The biggest thing is that whenever a Fortune Lady monster destroys a monster in battle, you can spell summon any Fortune Lady from your graveyard. So, and it doesn't have to be her who kills the monster. You can have your Synchro out, have her run over something, and then use Dark's effect to summon any Fortune Lady from your graveyard. This is not once per turn, and it is absolutely ridiculous. You can have times where you'll have all 3 of your waters in your graveyard, and you'll have 2 monsters that can run over something, attack over something, effect, bring out the water from the graveyard, effect of water, draw 2, attack over something else, effect of Dark, bring out another water, water effect, draw 2 more. It's really ridiculous. Again, though, I'm only playing 1 of her because she's an absolute dead draw. You do not want to see her in your opening hand. You'd much rather summon her off of the Fortune Lady Calling or anything else, really, because, like, Light, because it sucks stronger, but, like, also she's so good. So it's one of those very, very annoying conundrums. Then I got 1 Fortune Lady Wind. Fortune Lady Wind on normal summon pops back row your opponent controls equal to the number of Fortune Ladies you control. Pretty good card overall for that. And then 1 Fortune Lady Fire. Fortune Lady Fire is a Volcasaurus, basically. If she is special summoned by the effect of a Fortune Lady card, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls, and your opponent takes damage equal to that monster's attack power. Keynote here, she has to be summoned in attack position, which is a bit annoying, but still pretty decent. Can close out the game from time to time thanks to freaking end of roll procedures. Now then, for the other non-Fortune Lady monsters I'm playing, originally I wasn't going to play these, but I felt that they are, I've been testing them and they're actually not half bad. And that's the Fortune Fairies. I got a bit of everything here. Fortune Fairy Hikari, whenever you draw her, you can reveal her, special summon her. When you do, you can send 1 level 1 monster you control to the graveyard to, send target 1 monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, spell summon a level 1 spellcaster monster from your deck. So that right there is really good, just being able to send your Light to the graveyard and then special summon, like for instance, the Tuner, and then that will trigger Light's effect to special summon any monster from your deck, so you get 2 special summons. It's great. And then, next up we got Fortune Fairy Fortune Fairy On. She's not half bad, has the same summoning conditions as the other ones. Basically, when she hits the field from the hand by being special summoned, you can banish the spellcaster monster from your deck. This helps set up some cards and stuff for the deck. And then we got 1 Fortune Fairy Sui, who, whenever she is special summoned from the hand, lets you banish 1 monster on the field, which is pretty good. And then 1 Fortune Fairy who, when she's special summoned from the hand, you can add any of your banished spellcasters from your, to your hand. And then 1 Fortune Fairy N, who, when she is special summoned, you can pop 1 set card your opponent controls. They have to be special summoned from the hand, though, and that's the really sucky thing about the Fortune Fairies. That, and also they don't have an inherent way of summoning themselves other than when you draw them. So you do not want to actually, see them in your opening hand. That's why I'm playing only a couple copies of really each. Hikari is the best one by far because she has that really good interaction with Light. Followed by, I'd say, Sui, who can banish a monster, and then probably who can search. Add a monster from your banish to your hand. Other than that, On's okay, just being able to set up for other card plays. And then N is, of course, good old destruction, so you can't really go wrong with that. I'm not playing the level 6 because she's honestly hot garbage. I like the fact that she lets you draw a card, but I don't like the fact that she lets your opponent draw a card too. And I feel like for that, it's not really worth playing. So yeah, moving on to the rest of our cards, the spells, I should say. First and foremost, we got triple Fortune Lady Calling. This is the card I was mentioning where if you control Fortune Lady, special summon any Fortune Lady from your deck. However, for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra except for Synchros. And of course, also it has a hard once per turn on it, but still a really good card. Then I got 3 Fortune Vision. This card on activation lets you search out any Fortune Lady card from your deck to your hand. And then while it's out on the field, if a card is banished, depending on whose card it was, you can activate one of the following effects. If it's your card, you can make it to where if once per turn, if a card you control is banished by a card effect, you can activate this effect. Monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. By card effects, even if this card leaves the field. So that's pretty nice. And then if it's during your opponent's turn, if once per turn, if a card your opponent controls is banished by a card effect, you can make the next battle damage you would take 0. So the biggest thing here, other than just being kind of nice add-on effects, is that it can dodge. It can make it to where like your opponent can't hit your Fortune Lady Light with Ash. So basically, because thanks to the effect of Fortune Vision, whenever you normal summon your Light, you'll get her banished, and then that will trigger Fortune Vision. So basically, you normal summon out Light, or you get her banished somehow, you trigger her effect, and then Fortune Vision is chain linked to preventing your opponent from dropping Ash on it, because that's how that works, and it works wonderful. Speaking of, your primary way of banishing your own cards is going to be Fortune Vision, and also, of course, Fortune Lady Past. Fortune Vision is a really obnoxious field spell for your opponent, but really beneficial for you. Basically, whenever a monster is normal summoned, it gets banished until the next standby phase. This can severely hamper certain decks. Like for instance, if you're doing against Guru Control, you go first, you activate this card. Unless they open one of their back row destruction cards, they kind of get screwed over because they got to set Guru rather than summon him, which is obviously not something they really want to do. It's really obnoxious. Also, a fun little fact, if the copy of Fortune Vision is removed on the field, the monsters that are banished off of its effect do not come back. So like, let's say in that situation, your opponent does normal summon the Guru, Guru gets banished, and then your turn, you replace the Fortune Vision with another copy of Fortune Vision, they will not get their Guru back. Or if Fortune Vision gets banished or destroyed or whatever, removed from the field in any way, they won't get their Guru back because the Fortune Vision has to still be on the field in order to give the monster back onto the field. Then we got Triple Fortune's Future. This card, as if Fortune Lady Water, I almost called her Fortune Lady Draw Power. I mean, let's be honest, she is. Fortune Lady's Fortune Fusion, Fortune's Future. God, so many onomatopoeia. This card, whenever it's activated, you just return one of your Fortune Ladies that's banished, draw 2 cards. It's a D-draw for the deck, and it's not once per turn, so that's just great. Then I got 2 Called by the Grave because this deck kind of really hard loses to Ash and other like hand traps, so kind of need to play it. 2 Galaxy Cyclone to get rid of back row. 1 Luck Loan, 1 Lucky Loan, I should say. Basically, you target 1 Fortune Fairy monster and summon any spellcaster monster from your deck with a level lower than that monster. And but you cannot summon anything except for spellcasters during the next turn that you activate it. So it's a really good card. 1 unacceptable result. This literally just summons a Fortune Fairy monster from your hand. It's okay. I'm only playing 1 of it because it can be a bit of a dead draw. If I was playing more to Fortune Fairies, I'd probably play more of it. I don't know. I just do not like playing multiples of this card, especially since it's an inherent neg, but oh well. 1 for 1 to get out your level 1s. You have 3 of them, so you kind of need it. 1 Terraforming to get to your field spell, and then because I only play 1 trap, I'm only going to mention it here. 1 Fortune Lady Rewind, which is basically a different dimension fusion or whatever it's called. Return from a different dimension, that's the card, for Fortune Ladies. You activate this card, target any number of Fortune Ladies that are banished with different names, special summon them, but shuffle them into the deck during the end phase of the turn. This card can result in absolutely just insane shenanigans and can be a win card. However, it requires a lot of setup to be really effective, and you really don't banish your Fortune Ladies that much other than using Light Effect and, of course, also Past Effect. The big thing is that you can set this up really well with Past, banishing one of every Fortune Lady from your graveyard to increase her own level by like 5, but like it's really not that necessary a lot of the times. If we ever get more Fortune Ladies that are really good, have more banishing effects and stuff, I'd probably bump this card up, but right now it's only really good as a 1-of, in my experience. Moving on to the extra deck, first and foremost, let's talk about the boss monster, Fortune Lady Every. This card is a really interesting and good boss monster in theory and design, but however, it can be a bit of a slow card. So, Fortune Lady Every is a level 7 light synchro. Just needs a tuner plus 1 non-tuner spellcaster, well, 1 or more non-tuner spellcaster monsters. She gains attack and defense equal to her level times 400. So since she's level 7, she immediately comes out at 2,800 attack power. During the end phase of your opponent's turn, if she's in the graveyard, you can banish one spellcaster monster, special summon her. Once per turn during the standby phase, she goes up a level, like all the other Fortune Ladies. But whenever she does, you also get to banish a card your opponent controls. This card is really good and I really like her. The biggest thing though is that she's literally a beat stick that recurs herself and also banishes a card once during your standby phase. So really a lot of times whenever you do summon her and you have her out, she's just kind of sitting there and your opponent can do whatever they want to her. It really does suck. I wish she had another effect, or like maybe you could like quick effect, reduce her level by 2 or something to pop a card. I don't know. It'd be really interesting, but if she had just some more disruption or something during the opponent's turn, or maybe if she could level up during the opponent's turn, that'd be interesting too, but oh well. I'll take what I can get. One Formula Synchron, because we got so many level 1s, it just is another draw card. One high speed Roy Chimbara for the closeout games sometimes, because he does come in handy with that. One Black Rose Dragon for the nuke. One Psyframe Lord Omega, because he can just return stuff and shuffle stuff back. It's great. And then one Beals for the synchros to round it out, because our Fortune Lady Past is a dark and she can easily make it where you can get up to a level 8 synchro very easily. And Beals can just win games against certain people, well, certain decks I should say. For the links, I got one Barricade Blocker. This thing is a really interesting link for a TCG exclusive. Basically, whenever it's linked summon, you can discard a card during the end phase to get one of your field spells or continuous spells from your graveyard back to your hand. Or I believe you can actually activate it, right? No. Yeah, add it to your hand, and you can only use that effect once per turn. Face-up spells you control cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. It makes it a very interesting card, because the deck plays a continuous spell and a field spell that you both really want to keep, and it can help load up your graveyard for, like, for instance, Past Effect. This card is really good for the deck, so I recommend it heavily. And it can protect your field spell too, which is just great. One Daybreaker, the Shining Magical Warrior, just a good generic link too for spellcasters. One Nightmare Cerberus for monster removal, because that's something this deck kind of lacks. One Nightmare Unicorn for more removal. One good Osirius Skull Dread, because this thing is actually like really good for the deck. Whenever you use its effect to summon a monster from hand, that can trigger, of course, the Fortune Fairy monsters, because they're being special summoned from the hand. So, hey, that's pretty good. And the draw effect is also, of course, really nice. One Borolo Dragon for just kind of helping out and everything, and you know, just being a good link 4. Same thing with Topologic Zero Boris. This card is actually like really good for the deck, because you summon the monster, Zero Boris effect activates, banishing everything including himself, and that can trigger a light effect to spell summon another monster from your deck. It's just really good for the archetype overall. And then I got one Exceeds monster, one good old Daigusto Emerald to recur and shuffle up stuff. So that is everything, guys. What do you think of Fortune Fairies, Fortune Ladies, this general build of them? I am constantly working to improve my favorite decks, and this is definitely one of them. What do you guys think? Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Rate, comment, and subscribe, please. Check out my social media down below in the descriptions. Thank you all for watching. Peace out, and have a great day.